souls and spirits out there. My name is Reverend Lexi Hovis, and this is another episode of the podcast. Today, I have a very exciting guest, my friend Reverend Meg Wolsiffer. She is a resident at Camp Chesterfield. She is an ordained spiritualist minister, a certified medium. I always get those backwards. A spirit artist, and into all the cool stuff. So
all the cool stuff. Yes.
Yeah, all the cool stuff. All the cool people are. So welcome, Meg. I'm excited to have you here. This is take like 300 for us. We have tried to record this like 4 different times, and I've had technology problems.
We can't blame Mercury. We just can't.
Yeah, I think it's just our energy combined is just too much. So, Meg, can you tell me a little bit about maybe where you grew up and kind of your background with faith and spirituality?
Of course. Where did I grow up? I grew up in a small town that's not a small town anymore, just down the street, a little town called Noblesville. Now, I'm not a Hoosier. I don't claim to be a Hoosier. I don't want to be a Hoosier. I'm from Minnesota. The accent does come out occasionally.
Just when you say Minnesota.
Few words, the accent will come out. It's hard not to have it anymore. But yeah, so I grew up in Noblesville, and it's a lovely little white collar community. I grew up in the Lutheran tradition, so in the umbrella of Christianity, and my parents were pretty big in the church. It's where all of their friends came from. We did a lot of things as a congregation. I went through all the things, christened as a Lutheran. I went through confirmation as a Lutheran as a teenager, and it's a lovely background, right?
Yeah.
I think that it follows the same theme for most people, right? Is that you grew up more in that traditional sense of religion, and then you branch out from there when you get older and you start questioning life and everything else.
Yeah. You're born into some type of structure, and then once we really start thinking for ourselves, we kind of start to break free and emerge and figure out kind of what works for us. Yeah. You're one of many.
I know.
What really kind of kicked off you really searching?
Yeah. So when I joined the military at the ripe old age of 17, yes, you can join the military at 17 years old.
I didn't know that.
You can. Your parents have to sign a waiver, which is a whole other story. But joining the military and meeting people from all over and hearing their different backgrounds with religion and just life in general, it made me start to question a little bit more than what I was. But really moving into that wanting to go to church, still being in the military, and it was non-denominational, which meant that they were welcoming to all different backgrounds. That really got me starting to ask more questions, if you will. And then meeting people that were already Buddhist, right? That were already studied the Hindu tradition. It made me really start to question, okay, so what is it about your traditions? Tell me about it. Let me learn about it. Let me see if any of that fits into my life. And it did. It did, right? I really found myself traveling down the Taoism path and the path of Buddhism because it allowed me to take responsibility for my life instead of having to ask somebody else, right? That higher power is the only thing that can give me permission to be myself, right? Or if you're too much yourself, which frankly I am on a good day, then you have to ask forgiveness. And I just wanted to live my life as the best person that I could be. Even though lots of stumbling blocks, right? I'm not perfect. I would never claim to be perfect. I've done a lot of things that I look back on now and go, oh, I probably could have handled that a little bit differently and it would have been great. But no.
I think we all do. And I think that's the biggest kind of part of life is stumbling through those lessons and figuring it all out. That's the reason we're here. We're not just here to exist. We're here to learn and grow as soul beings. Would you say that people, when you were in the military, when you were asking them questions, were they open to talking about their faith?
Every single one. I don't know that I ran into a single person that was like, nope, that's mine. I'm not sharing.
Yeah.
And it was never from a place of, at least in the military now, real life is different, but in the military, it was never from a place of you have to do it like this because you're wrong and I'm right. It never had that feeling behind it. It was always just a sharing of information. And I have found that in a lot of different sectors of my life as an adult now, that there are a lot of different religions where it is more let's share and not you have to do it this way.
I think it's interesting that you kind of started building that in the military where like you you have your job and you're there for a job and you're like, you already have kind of a structure that you have to follow. And so people bring into those situations like their faith and
Hmm.
their truths. And so then they can just kind of like open and honestly like explain that to you, and instead of, I guess I think about it now where people around us are always like, well, let me bring you to my church and let me show you kind of what they do. I feel like there is like a really unique situation where they can just talk to you about it and they don't try to like
Absolutely.
take you somewhere. Does that make
No,
sense?
absolutely. And if you think about it with the military, yes, it is very structured. It's, at 0500, you're doing this. It is very structured. But at the end of the day, you need something that provides you that comfort and that peace because it can get very crazy very quickly. And for most people, that turns back to religion of some variety. And so being willing to share that with others, because if I'm struggling, they can say, okay, hey,
Yeah.
try this,
Yeah.
right? And it's beautiful. It's
Mm,
beautiful.
I love that. So you're a spiritualist minister now.
I know it's weird, right?
How did you find your way to spiritualism after all of that?
So I have a beautiful friend, and you know her as well, Reverend
Yes.
Michelle Euler, which hopefully she'll be on here at
Oh,
some point in
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
She was the first person that brought me to camp, and I had only known her for maybe 6 months prior to her bringing me here.
I love that.
So both of our significant others went to school together in college, and they were roommates. And out of the blue, after my wife and I were already married, it came up of, hey, just come over for dinner, right? We want to meet Meg. Who wouldn't want to meet me?
I know, you're
Just
fabulous.
is so much fun. I'm a lot, but it's okay. And we just had a regular dinner, and Michelle was new to studying at camp as well. And she just brought up some terms that made my spidey senses go, oh,
What's that?
guys, interesting. Tell me more about guys. Tell me more about this religion that doesn't feel like religion, but it is religion because there's more. And
Mhm.
so I just got really interested and I was like, I'd like to learn too. So I came to a service and I was like, yep, thank you. This is where I would like to be for the rest of my life. I came for a weekend event of trying, right? Try to be a medium, see what happens. And I fell in love with it. It scared the bejesus out of me.
Right.
Like, oh, you're going to stand up here and talk to dead people and tell people about themselves and all of this. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Mhm.
And then I could do it. And then that was very weird as well. Like, oh no, I can. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No pressure. And then I studied every single opportunity that first and second year that they had classes. I was here.
Yeah, you were. I
I
remember.
was here. It's like you're stuck with me now.
Yeah.
And I found myself going through the program very quickly up until I got my mediumship papers.
Yeah.
And then I kind of took a step back because frankly, being called to be ordained to be a minister it's a big step. It's not
Yeah.
something to just say, oh, it's just the next step in the program, so I'm going to do it. It doesn't work that way.
No.
And so it took a little bit of time for me to hear the call, if you will, and to accept the call and say, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I get that. It's taken me this long to be comfortable in kind of all of those jobs. And I mean, I could say I felt the call when I first started coming to camp at
Hmm.
15, but I was completely in denial. And I was like, nope, I'm doing healing. I'm doing metaphysics. I'm doing the things where I don't have to talk to people. Like, I can help people, but I don't have to talk to them.
Hmm.
And that was kind of my thing. And then I just kept, spirit just pushes you and gives you those little nudges. And then they kind of have other people back, like kind of backing them up and saying, oh, you should do this and you would be great at this. And I'd love to hear you give a sermon on this or whatever it is. And you're like, gosh, dang it, spirit. Okay.
I guess.
I hear you.
Yep.
And you finally, I like the way camp does it to where like you have to wait a year in between things
Absolutely.
because you shouldn't rush into any of this stuff.
Well, and there's only certain things as an associate minister that you can do,
Yeah.
right? And then moving into the full ordination path, you have all of those tools in your tool belt. And I know you have done many weddings and many hand
Mhm.
fastings and other beautiful services, which I would love to do. However, I seem to get called to do funerals.
Oh no.
And I'm like, it's just as beautiful to be able
Yeah.
to be there and help a family and work through all of that. But I would really like to do a celebration as well.
Yes.
Be great. Just
Yeah.
haven't been called to do that yet.
Well, I hope you can, because yeah, they are wonderful. It took me a while to realize that, like, I could make my ministry my own, and I'm fine doing sermons, like, I've done them, and it's fine, but I felt like I was called to be a minister to do those rituals for
Yeah.
people, to do the rituals at the most important times in their life. You know, marriage, death, like, baby blessings, like a baptism of sorts,
hmm
like, all of those things, like, are the reason I wanted to be a minister, because I wanted to be able to be there for people at, like, their highest and lowest points spiritually and tell them, it's okay and make it what they want.
Well, I do love doing sermons personally
Yeah,
because I like to pull from all the traditions,
yeah,
as we should as spiritualists, right? It's not just one book equals the answer. I like to be able to pull, the different passages from a lot of different traditions to
mhm,
really prove that it does all go together, that there is continuity in all of the different religions around the world.
yeah. I like to make people think, because still, even some spiritualists, they will only pull from what they know.
Their comfort.
Their comfort
Yes.
zone, yeah, and when I started doing this, I was like, "No, if I'm going in, I'm going all in, and I wanna help." I want people to think. I want people to think about spirituality and, like, see the connections that are there and not just what they know,
Yep.
and that's yeah,
Because that might be the thing that gets them to look outside of the box,
yeah,
right? To look at something else and be more open to people with different opinions.
and be accepting of them and have something to talk to them about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's important. We should do that more with, like, all things. Yeah. Hopefully one day. Where do you think you are like, right today on your spiritual path? Like, is there something
In
you're
the middle, in the middle of it. That's where I'm at. Where am I on my spiritual path? I am still learning.
Yes.
That's where I'm at because it isn't a one and done. I am more recent to the nature of religions. Not that I haven't always found comfort and joy in them. We just don't know that that's what it was, right? Little kids putting together little fairy houses and everything. It's fine. Talking to trees. I always talk to trees and to
Okay.
rocks
Mhm.
and the animals, and sometimes they talk back now, which is more fun.
Now we can hear them.
Now I can hear them when they talk back to me, but it's almost, when somebody does bring something to your awareness and you realize that you've already been doing bits and pieces without knowing what you were doing.
Right.
And so now it is the study of that. It's the study of plants and herbs. The number of tarot decks that I have now that are plant-based, just because I'm like, "Ooh, it's pretty and it teaches me something."
Yes.
Dual purpose, hello.
Yeah.
But I am really leaning into that side right now and understanding the rhythms of the earth with spirit, with everything that I do, my everyday life, and it's beautiful.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
That's what drew me to metaphysics, because understanding kind of the cycles of nature and the seasons and the elements and all of that can really amplify our lives and help us connect in with just our surroundings and other people, and it just makes everything make more sense, I guess. I don't know. I I was very blessed to grow up this way, and so I grew up knowing about fairies. I grew up, like, putting stuff out into the yard for the fairies and, like, asking them to bless our home and things like that, and so people who don't do that, it's almost weird to me.
Mhm.
I'm like, "You don't go talk to your plants? What? Like, why not?" And then they just look at me like I'm insane, and I'm like, "This is perfectly normal."
This is acceptable and normal. Okay, it's fine.
You don't
Yeah.
go pat the trees when you walk by them and say hello, and yeah, it just makes life so much more joyful.
Mhm.
I can feel the joy around, like, nature when I'm there and I'm talking to them. Same as, like, I told you I wanna make this house, like, sentient, and I talk to the house, and so when me and Lena walk in, we say, "Hi, house." She pats the wall, and I'm like, "Yes, yes, we are bringing this house to life."
I have 2 trees that are my favorite trees
Mm,
at camp.
yes.
So I always, if I'm out walking, I always make sure that they are on my path, and so I can go. I don't hug them. One of them is very sticky, so I don't hug it, but I
Mhm.
do give it some attention and love.
Yeah, I always pat him, and Luna loves the prayer tree. I know she likes the ribbons, but she always goes up to the base of it, and she, like, puts her hands on it, and a lot of times now she'll say, "Hi, tree." And I'm like,
I love that.
"Cool, we're making this part of our, like, every time we come up here, that's what we're gonna do then,
Mhm.
because I wanna help nurture that
Of course.
of hers." Yeah, it's interesting. A part of your spiritual practice now, what is something that you may do frequently to help kind of connect in or to connect in with your own personal truths or
Absolutely. So when it comes to my spirit team, I'm always talking to them. It gets a little weird sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, because I
Mhm.
find myself talking out loud to them, and I sometimes I'm in public places.
Yes.
It's a short trip to the padded room. It is, it's fine.
Just start wearing a headphone, that's what I
That's
do.
what I do. Yes, I generally have them in now. But, every morning I try to do something that is full of gratitude because it's another day, right? I'm here, I'm awake. I do my ISIS rituals in the morning because, well, it takes me a long time to get ready apparently. So it's easy to do, right? It's easy to do while you're blow drying your hair, or putting your makeup on, or brushing your teeth. But and I know we had talked about this previously, every time I take a shower, right? It is
Mhm.
it is the rinsing away of the old, it is the cleansing process. And so finding the time to do the rituals that are important to me, it is literally finding the time. And I teach that as well. Like meditation, I would love to meditate every day. Like really meditate, like sit down and, on my little meditation stool and put my
Right.
music on and just I don't have time in my life.
Nobody does.
It doesn't work. And so I try to find the times. Okay. I can do it when I'm driving because I can. I don't completely space out. I'm still present. Don't do it when you're driving.
Yeah.
If you're not used to it, don't do it when you're driving. But I can, right? I can kind of space out and talk to my people and work it in that way. Now, I will say that every time I do a reading,
Mhm.
every time I'm gonna have a circle.
Yeah.
I always prep at least a 30 to 1 hour block ahead of time
Right.
to meditate, to center, to bring in those people's guides and loved ones, right? Because that's different.
Mhm.
I can make that space.
Mhm.
It's just the everyday, right?
Right.
It becomes a little crazy.
Yeah, when we're doing I've noticed when we're doing it for other people, we automatically set aside the time.
Mhm.
Well, if I'm like I did a healing this morning. Well, if I'm doing this for someone, I wanna make sure I'm on top of my game, and so I'm gonna sit and meditate for 30 minutes. I'm gonna hide myself away and do this thing,
Yep.
so I am centered, grounded, and
My
I am in
vibration is raised.
yeah, I am in
Yes.
the best shape I can possibly be to help this person. But then day to day,
What is for us?
when it's for us,
No.
like, I've been trying to make myself think of it as my self-care, and this is part of my self-care and connecting in with I I have fitted into all the little spaces in my life, just like you said. Yeah, if I'm taking a shower, it's a purification ritual. If I'm brushing my teeth, I'm saying the affirmations that are put around my mirror there. If I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing something else, and when I'm in the car, I'm talking to my spirit people. When I'm chasing one around, I'm talking to my spirit people. And I'm just like, yeah, guys, our life's nuts, isn't it? They're right there with me, but you have to you have to fit it into those little spots. And if you can set aside 5 minutes before you go to bed to, just quiet your mind and let go of the stuff, then that's great.
Mhm.
But some days we just don't have that and we just want to crawl into bed and not think, or we want to if you're me, I'm real into Asian dramas right now for unknown reasons.
I love that so much.
Yeah. I just wanna put on an Asian drama and zone out and not think about things.
But we have to understand that's also self-care,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Turning your brain off completely. And I do like trash TV as well, like all the reality shows. It's fine. When you need it, you need
Need it.
it.
Yeah.
It's different if that's all you do, right? But
Mhm.
if those moments where it's just like it's finally quiet and that's what I want,
Yeah.
good.
I don't wanna pick up my computer. I don't wanna
Nope.
try to read and think about spiritual things. I just wanna be here and be a human being.
Hmm.
Like, that's just as important on
It
our
is.
spiritual path, I think.
It is.
Yeah. Is there any type of book or place or any type of spiritual practice that you would recommend to someone starting out on a new kind of spiritual journey?
Everything.
Try everything.
Everything. Yes. Literally try all of it. It really depends on what it is that you're looking for in your spiritual journey. Some of us, we came into this like myself. I saw the mediums on the platform. I saw Normandy Ellis, and I'm like, "Ooh,
I wanna be
it
her.
was it was Normandy and Sharon." Like that was one of the first services I saw, and I was like,
Dream
"These
team.
these are the people that I want to be when I grow up."
Yeah.
Right? And so then it was, "Okay, so what do you study?" And I kind of went down that rabbit hole as well. But some of us just want this for our own personal use, right?
Mhm.
And so picking up a book on how to meditate,
Mhm.
picking up anything by Ted Andrews,
Yeah.
hands down, meeting your spirit team,
Mhm.
how to work in that space. Um, I was drawn, I haven't told you this yet,
Mm.
of all the things that we've talked about. I was drawn to Egypt at a very, very young age. I had one of those kids' Bibles,
Yeah.
the real big ones that was pictures.
Yeah.
And the
Me
only
too.
section I ever read was about Moses.
Moses, yeah.
Yeah,
Me
that
too.
was it. The Exodus, that was all I ever read. And it was always Moses in the little basket and the
Yes,
Egyptians
down
like,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
carrying it
carrying him out. And I'm like, that's it. That's all I want. I was like, huh, interesting. So I picked up, the Hermetica. I picked up, yep. Now the
the
name of
Emerald
that.
Tablet,
Yes, thank you, the Emerald Tablet, because we talked about that.
the Kabbalion.
I picked up all of those books, and of all of the books, as Lexi has a ton in this room as well,
Yes.
those are the ones that I've read front to back multiple times and that
Mhm.
I can go back to in the times that I need. And so really it's what you are drawn to right now,
Mhm.
right? And even if you are drawn to a book that is a really massive tome and you pick it up, you start reading it and it doesn't resonate, it's okay. You were meant to have that book. It's just
Mhm.
maybe not right now. Flip to a page in the
Mhm.
book and read it and go, that's exactly what I needed in this moment, and put it away. There's nothing that says that any metaphysical book, any spiritual book has to be read front to back. So what you're drawn to is what you're supposed to be drawn to right now. And you read
Mhm.
it, or you look at it, or you study it, or you go as far as you feel like you should go, and then you save it for later. Every spiritualist has a ton of books, just a ton. I don't know one that doesn't have a ton of books. And the same thing for places, the places that you dream about, or you pick up a book, the Mysteries of Isis, the book, and I was just reading about the different temples, and then I could start seeing them in
Mhm.
my mind, and I'm like, there's no way that I would ever know. Well, now I do because I've been, but those places that your soul feels called to be, to go to read about, to watch videos about, do it,
Yeah.
because there's something in there that resonates with you. There's something in there that you need to either remember or, experience for the first time in this lifetime.
There's something there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't, even if you're someone who can't travel, or, you don't have the time or the funds, or you got kids or whatever it is, like watching video. I mean, we live in the digital age, we should use it.
Absolutely.
Watch videos, find books at the library, look at pictures of the places, and just experience them that way. I have such a draw to India and the temples there, and I'm not sure when I'll ever be able to go there, but I do. Or the temples like far away in the mountains in China, like I want to see those, and I'm like, when am I ever going to have time for that now? And so I'll watch videos and I'll look at pictures, and I'm like, that, yeah, there's something there that I'm supposed to experience, and maybe I will be able to go in this lifetime, or maybe it's just photos, but I can feel myself connecting to it
Yeah.
even far away.
The energy is still there, right? That
Mhm.
energy is still made regardless if it is a hard picture or a video or you physically get to go. I recommend to everybody though that spending time outside is going to be so important, especially if you do spiritual work at all, because we find ourselves up here
Yeah.
all the time, right? You're so elevated that we forget that sometimes the earth is just as important,
Mm.
and grounding and centering and I don't have my cell phone on me, but putting your phones away, right? Getting out of that digital mindset and being present. The only way to be present is to literally be present. So going outside is important.
Yeah, and being physical beings, I mean, there's nothing more physical than the earth, and we need to connect into that and be in the physical world. And that doesn't mean just sitting in our houses watching television. Like that's a whole other kind of realm there. Like we need to go actively be outside, be in the fresh air, be around the plant kingdom and animal kingdom, and
Hmm.
that is just as important on our journey here. I mean, eons ago, that's all we had as human beings. Like we haven't evolved that much to not need
Not
it.
even eons ago. When I was a little girl, we didn't have all this. You had
Yeah,
a black
true.
and white television that you had to turn the knob. I mean, come on.
Well, if you're born into the 2000s, like someone told me the other day, I was really old.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that hurts that hurts a little." Whew, phew.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was born in the 1900s. But yeah, it was the same. Like I grew up just being outside,
Hmm.
and I mean, how many parents just said, "Go play outside and, come back when it's dark."
Yep.
And
When those lights come on, you need to be home.
yeah, all right, but you could do whatever and be into whatever. And
Hmm.
I mean, I had whole villages mapped out in our woods, and I had little houses and all kinds of things, and I had little altars.
Uh-huh. Yep. We had a tree, a hollowed out tree down at the bottom of a dam that we would sneak down. Shouldn't say all these things. Gonna say them anyway. We would sneak down into the dam and go down, and you have to walk across the dam to
Yeah.
get there. only when the water was not.
Very dangerous.
It was very, very dangerous things. But yeah, and that was our little sacred space,
Hmm.
just me and my friends. And mhm.
I love that. I also like what you said yesterday when we were hanging out about if you grew up with a specific religion and you're kind of wanting to branch out a little bit, start with what you know. Like if you were raised in some type of Christianity tradition, look to angels. Like
Absolutely.
start kind of learning about those.
Yeah, or the saints,
Yeah.
or absolutely, because the leap from regular day to aliens, it can be a leap for a lot of people, and so it doesn't feel very comfortable. But if you do have that very religious background, going into what feels right, and if you don't, maybe you come from a Native American background and just animal medicine, right? That's what resonates with you. That's where you start because it
Hmm.
just makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. What are some things that you are currently exploring? Anything like right now that you're besides like nature-based stuff, is there anything like any kind of specific thing you're learning, like tarot or anything like
Oh,
that? Are you
um,
learning tarot?
no, I refuse to learn tarot because I like it to be spur of the moment. So I refuse to really learn it the way that you are supposed to learn it.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that for myself. Anybody else, please do it, not me. I like it to mean what it means right now and not what it might mean tomorrow. I actively am working on astrology.
Really?
Actively working on it. It is something that has been a passion of mine for a very, very long time, and it never sticks.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on it. I'm working on it
Good for you.
because I know it's important. I know it's
Mhm.
important for me to understand it and to learn it. It just was never the right time.
Yeah.
And now it feels like it's the right time.
It's a lot. It's something I will probably study my whole life and never feel like I'm a master at, because there's always something new to explore and
But isn't that the exciting part
yeah.
about it? It's like there's always something new, or somebody looks at it differently and you're like, I never thought of it like
Yeah,
that.
that's the same reason one of the reasons I'm so drawn to Egypt is like I could go back there once every year and I feel like I will never see everything there is. And they're discovering new things like every single day.
All the time. Yeah.
So it's like how could I ever like get bored of it? And I think the same thing about astrology because I'll look at someone's chart and I'll do the most basic reading ever and that'll take me like 2
Oh yeah.
hours. And then I'll do something I'll add in something else and then it's another 2 hours
Hmm.
and then, it's like so much stuff and it's like I could sit and talk to you for about 4 days just on like the time you were born. Like let's look at all of the things. Um Tell me a little bit about the spirit art you do.
I love my spirit art. Talk about something that is always evolving as well. It
Yeah.
is never the same thing ever. So spirit art, and I've said this a million times, I believe that every artist, regardless if they call it spirit or not, they're being impressed by spirit,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Whether it is that you do paint nature and something is drawing you to this specific landscape, right? There's something, that creative spark. My spirit art, I do so many different versions. I do so many different styles, but I grew up, my mom wanted to be an artist and she didn't have a lick of the creativity. And so she forced me into it at a very young age. So I have been working in different media since I was probably 10,
Okay.
and I went to college for it. So I am technically trained, I suppose, is what you would call it. But now it's what I'm impressed with. It's what spirit shows me. This is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
But I'm always also playing with different ways to create. And so I like to use a lot of liquid
Mhm.
media because I don't have any control.
Mhm.
Right? I give it away. I'm like, okay, they say, here's the colors. Cool. Put them down and I let spirit do the rest. And so
Mhm.
it's very interesting. Right now I'm working on actively, they're at home. I'll be, what I'll be doing after this is I have some feathers that I'm currently painting as well
Okay.
for that next little set that will get released. Um, but if anybody is interested in spirit art and they want to learn it, you just have to be willing to open yourself up
Mhm.
and just not judge yourself. That's
Yeah.
probably the hardest part. For me, learning when to stop was hard because I'm a mild perfectionist when it comes to art, just a little bit. And I have to listen to my people say, stop. That is exactly how it's supposed to be. One example that I'll give very briefly about that is I did feather messages off of the platform for Spirit Fest 2 years ago. And so I painted 8 different feathers and I had 2 left. And one of them was going to be this beautiful doe. Beautiful doe. I'm like, yes. And so it's layers. That's how you paint on feathers, is there's a
Mhm.
lot of layers. And I had the first layer down and they said, stop. And I said, no. I said, it's like white and gray. Like, that's not what a deer looks like. It's just like an outline of a deer. Like,
Yeah.
what? They're like, nope, stop. And I was like,
I can't leave it like that.
well, I did. I finished like the wrapping of the feather and the adding of different pieces, but I didn't paint anything else on there. My Harry Potter fans out there, and Severus Snape, and he does the doe. It was the Patronus. That's what it turned into, and it was for somebody. I don't generally remember messages, but it was for somebody who had just lost their husband, and it was
that makes
the
so much
always.
sense.
And I was like,
Stop.
like, okay, thank you for telling me to stop, because it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
That makes
So
so much sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I have the same issue, and I'm like, no, it needs more detail. It needs, I need to finish this. Yeah, and they're like, no, you don't need to. And I'm like, yeah, yes, I
Your
do.
eye twitches a little bit, like, are you serious? You okay?
Yeah, because when I paint my hats, that's kind of one of my versions of spirit art, and I have to do it in layers as well.
Mhm.
And sometimes they'll tell me like, you just leave it like this, like it's just the bare thing. And then I'll have someone come up to my booth and they're like, oh my God, I love this. I love that you didn't add extra stuff to it, because that would have been too much for me. I just wanted the vines or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, all right, spirit,
Fine, you were right.
I hear you. It's like I can hear them saying, we told you. This is the reason.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I get it.
The listening and accepting it can be a hard lesson.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things, and knowing you're not crazy.
That too.
That's the secret.
Luckily, this is a group of like-minded people, and so
Absolutely.
we are aware that we're not crazy. And
Yeah.
we can talk about the weird stuff.
I love that. Yeah, I will never forget giving my very first message, and I was so young, and I don't like public speaking, so I was standing up there bawling my eyes out, and Julie Theoresi was just rubbing my back, and she's like, you can do it, just say something, just say anything. And I'm like, orange. I'm just like yelling stuff out at this guy. And I finally like put together a message through crying, and she's handing me tissues, and he was just looking at me and he's like, you're exactly right. You are exactly right. And he told me everything, like he backed up every single thing I said. And then I started crying because I'm like, I'm right. This is real. I can do it. And I was a mess. And Julie's just like, yes, honey, like, let's go sit down now.
You did a good job.
And I was thankful because my mom was in the class with me, and she just like tucked me under her arm. She's like, you're okay. You're all right. You'll be all right.
It can be traumatic, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay that it's traumatic.
I think it's just the aha moment, that knowing that you're not crazy,
Yeah.
knowing that like you are seeing and hearing stuff and it's real. And I told someone this today. I said, like, over half the battle is just getting out of your own way
Absolutely.
and just
Trusting.
trusting.
It's trusting that Spirit's never going to let you down. We can let ourselves down, but
Yeah.
Spirit's not going to let us down. And so when we get into our own heads and we overthink it, or same thing, my students, just open your mouth. Just whatever it is. I don't care if it's a smell. They're like, but it's weird. And I'm like, we like the weird stuff. Just
say it.
say it. Because strangely enough, the weird things are the things that resonate the most with people, because it's actual information. It's personal. Lives are not, beautiful and clean cut. They're weird and they're messy. And those are the things that really, hit home when you're giving a message.
And those are the things that people make other people believe in it too, because they're like, why would you ever say that or think like it's not something that you would consciously think about, like when you say it. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I love it.
Yes, me too.
I love all the weirds.
I do too. Even more so now.
Yes. For someone listening to this, what would you hope they take away from your journey in spirituality?
I would say that the fact that we're always learning and we're always growing, there's not a stopping point on this. This is a train with a track that goes on for forever. And the things that might resonate today and that make sense today may not make sense tomorrow. And that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not doing things right. It means that you're on your journey. And it's also important to remember that just because you're on your journey doesn't mean that mine's going to be the same.
Right.
Right? We can call ourselves spiritualists, and we can be very different kinds of spiritualists, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is just that seeking of knowledge always, and being welcome and open for everybody, right? Anybody can come and sit with me. Anybody can
Yeah.
come sit with you. It doesn't matter what your current belief system is. It doesn't matter if you're questioning. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in this at all and you're just like, prove it to me. I got you. Right? I love that. That's perfectly fine. But the willingness to have the conversations, the willingness to learn about somebody else and what their beliefs are, it's so important. It's so important in the world right now as a whole because there's so much misunderstanding.
Mhm.
And when we don't take the time to actually reach out and have the conversation with somebody, we're never going to understand their point of view. We're never going to understand why they feel the way that they do. It's just please. I'm always here. You can talk to me about anything. I like the weird stuff. I like the normal stuff. I like the hard stuff. I'm here.
Some of my favorite conversations are kind of seems weird to think about, but like people who are have come to me and saying they've lost their faith in something. And I'm like, okay, let's find it. Let's find what you believe in.
Yeah.
Like right now. You don't have to pick up what you had before.
Mhm.
Like that's perfectly fine if something big has happened to you, if it's some little things like that just keep kind of bringing you down and you're like, I don't think this is right for me anymore. Cool, let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what works for you. You don't have to immediately jump into something new. You don't have to go back to what you had always done because it doesn't feel right. Like
Mhm.
that is perfectly fine. And to your point, like I think that's one of the reasons there's so much disconnect right now is because no one is talking to each other and they're just automatically assuming things about us and or like just in general about people. I made the joke the other day to my mom that if I were to do the cathedral, I would want part of my song to be "Witchy Woman" by the Eagles,
Oh, I love that.
because
Yes.
it says, "Witchy woman, she's got the moon in her
Mhm.
eyes." And I have always loved that line, and she was like, "You can't do that because there's so much bad stuff wrapped around the name of the name of a
Yes.
witch." And I was like, "I hate that." Like, I love that song. I love what it says and it represents, and I'm very much a witchy woman, and, I love the moon. I have a daughter named Luna. Like, it just like, I listened to it and I was like, "Ah, that would be just, like, the perfect song to, like, get me in, like, the right, like, state of mind."
Yes.
And the reason as spiritualists we have songs to do in front of services is to raise the vibration and bring the medium up.
Yes.
And when we're told we have to pick specific things, like that doesn't necessarily raise my vibration.
Right.
And I keep going back over that conversation that I had with her because she was like, you need, like, no, if you were to do that, you need to just pick something that everyone's okay with. And I was like, "Ugh, I hate that it has to be that way
Yeah.
because people are going to have issues with one word in a song, even though the song's great
Mhm.
and the Eagles are great. And
But let's ask the real question. Why is the word witch or witchy a negative word?
yeah,
That is somebody who's in touch with nature,
hmm,
who utilizes nature in ritual.
yeah.
And what is a metaphysician?
Yeah, the exact same thing. I tell people all the time, being a metaphysician, being a witch, being a priestess, it is no different in my head.
No.
Like they are all on the same level. They are just slightly like I may do stuff slightly different. When I am acting as a priestess, I am doing stuff just slightly different with like an ancient Egyptian twist to
Yeah.
it.
The tools may be a little different, a little more specific to,
To
right?
this, but
Yes.
it's to me it's no different.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why, like, I am a metaphysician, I am a priestess, I am a witch, and there's nothing different in my head between those words.
No, you don't become somebody different just because, right? It's
No.
not it's the negative connotation of words and labels. It's labels that people put on us. Some people don't like ministers, right?
Right.
Being called a reverend, that's not going to work for some people, but it doesn't make me any different,
Yeah.
right? I'm still myself.
Yeah.
I'm still eventually going to be a priestess. It's going to happen.
Yes, you are. You already are.
Next year. I need that official certificate.
Yes. Yes, we'll get you there for sure. Yeah, but it's hard being who we are in today's world, and it's gotten better. There's a lot more people, I feel like, backing us. There's a lot of people who are kind of walking the same path that have realized, like, their call is to more nature-based spirituality
Yes.
things instead of just the structure and the rigidness that just traditional kind of religions give you. And I still would like to break all of those barriers. Like, I don't see why you can't have the structure of a religion and a church and still not have like spirituality.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my big goals in
Mhm.
life, and trying to help people understand like there's nothing that makes me truly different. Like I'm not out here doing anything bad as a witch, as a priestess, as a metaphysician. My ultimate goal is to do no harm.
Mhm.
And whatever I do no harm.
It's the highest and the best. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it is. But I mean, that's part of what I want people to understand is that it's okay to call yourself whatever it is that you can call yourself a Catholic, you can call yourself a Christian, you can call yourself a Buddhist, you can call yourself a spiritualist, you can call yourself a witch, a pagan. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your practice is your practice, and if it's bringing you inner peace and it's not hurting anybody, there you go.
Yeah. I think that's why I brought it up because of who we are
Mhm.
and the things that we are in. I think what I would want people to take the most out of this is to just be your authentic self.
Yes. That's why my business is Uniquely Meg.
Yes.
It doesn't say that it's witchy Meg. It doesn't say that it's minister Meg. It's uniquely because
That should be woo woo Meg.
I like that too. I like that too. But I've changed, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the same person that I was when I started this path.
Yeah.
I mentioned aliens earlier. That was one of the things that first came up to me. I was like, y'all are weird.
Right?
Like, why are we talking about aliens?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, let's talk about aliens.
Yes.
Right?
I hear an alien conversation going on somewhere in a group, and I'm like, can I join?
Yeah.
Can I listen in? Tell me about your experience.
Yes. Yes. I want to know more. I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah. Someone will say they got taken somewhere in a dream. I'm like, where'd you go?
What did it look like? Tell me more.
Yeah. What did it look like? What were they saying? Like, I want to know all the
Mhm.
things. Like, the weirder, the better for me.
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
just tell me all the stuff.
Mhm.
I hope I can find someone to talk about aliens on here. That would be cool.
Oh, we'll make that happen.
Help me find
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. We'll make that happen.
Okay, I think I've devolved us kind of enough. If someone wanted to talk to you, get with you about learning or doing a reading, where can they find you?
So you can always find me on the Camp Chesterfield website. All my information is on there.
Mhm.
But social media, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I go by Uniquely Meg Medium. That's me. My website, same thing. So I'm very easy to find.
Mhm. Find you in all the
So find me through her.
Yes. You can ask me, and I'll put it in the comments of this episode, her name, so you know how to spell it and everything. So, well, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to do this for the third time.
I love it. I love it. Just more time to spend with you. It's my favorite.
Yes, I love it because even though I'm kind of asking you the same questions, we're saying different things almost every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
So thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.